All right, everyone, this is Aaron Breitman coming to you from the Scarlet Faithful. About an hour after Wagner, Rutgers winning 66-7. Had to put my kids to bed first, but wanted to get to this and just kind of go through the game real quick in terms of just a rapid reaction analysis. Rutgers 2-0, goes to Temple next week. Listen, I don't think there's a ton you can read into this game. Such an inferior opponent. An FCS school on a 22-game losing streak. Hope Rutgers doesn't play a team this bad again. But they did score the most points ever under Greg Schiano. Most points scored since 1993, since they beat Colgate, scored 68, I believe. And then Schiano tying Frank Burns for most wins in program history. So obviously an accomplishment there. But for me, the kind of historical note that I liked was the 3 touchdown passes in the first quarter, all over 40 yards, 3 different quarterbacks, 3 different receivers. You had Evan Simon to Aaron Cruikshank, you had Gavin Wimsatt to Chris Long with that amazing one-handed catch, and then you had Johnny Langan go to Isaiah Washington. It's great to see both of them make a play like that. And I got a text back from Rutgers in the middle of the game that at least in this century that had never happened. I have to imagine it's probably never happened before in program history. I'll get confirmation on that later, but you root for an old program, historically old, when they're saying, well, at least this century it didn't happen. So overall, I thought there were some positives, there were some negatives. Again, I think there's not a whole lot you could take out of an opponent like this. I thought quarterbacks, Evan Simon looked good. He was very accurate. He had 2 touchdowns, threw for about 130 yards, I believe. Made good plays. Gavin Wimsatt, again, was up and down. I think, that's kind of par for the course and what we should expect. He had another bad interception, but he ran for 60 yards on 6 carries. He had a frozen rope touchdown pass to Long on that one-handed catch. I thought, I really liked his first drive after the second half. I think he connected on a Cruikshank, the first pass of the drive. It was a bullet, and then he had a bad pass on 3rd down, I believe it was, to Shameen Jones, and then he went back to him on 4th down and made a really good throw, and they converted. So I like some things out of him. I think towards that drive, I thought he progressed a little bit. And listen, it's going to be up and down, but again, his ceiling, I just think, is on display of being so high. But again, Simon definitely played the better game, but I don't think it moves the needle either way in terms of who's ahead. Wimsatt was the first quarterback. They alternated drives throughout the game. So we'll see. Temple is obviously a bigger test, and it's going to be really important for I think both of them to play well, because Iowa awaits a tremendous defense who lost today to Iowa State 10-7 because their offense is terrible. So, listen, Rutgers has a legitimate chance to win that game, but they need to figure out the offense. I thought, running-wise, they did well early on. They went back to it late. Manungai and Salam look legit as a 1-2 punch. Salam made a couple runs that were just, kind of jaw-dropping. So I'm really excited about both of them. I thought the line played pretty well. I think the thing for me coming in, I really wanted to see them play a clean game, and they had 6 penalties. There was I believe a holding call on a drive that knocked them back, knocked them out of into field goal range. Jude McAtamey missed it, 32-yarder. So that was disappointing. He did come back and make a 49-yarder later, which is encouraging, but again, up and down. I think with him, he's got a huge leg. Maybe he needs to just miss a kick, in the pregame to get that out of his system. I don't know. But, they had the one turnover. You had a few drops, especially with Wimsatt. His stats were not great. I think 4 of 11, but he had at least 3 drops that I can remember from receivers on balls he threw. So there were definitely some mistakes in this game. They did not play as clean as I had hoped. They jumped out at that 28-0 lead after 1 quarter, which is a great sign. You wanted them to just put the pedal to the metal and assert their will from the opening whistle. And they did that. They sputtered a little bit in the second quarter. Went to the half up 38-7, still, huge lead. And then they really pounced on them those first 2 drives after the half, and that was all she wrote. So all in all, encouraging. I think, again, there's not too much you could take away from this game. But I did want to point out some younger players that I was really excited to see that did come through. Rashad Rochelle, Chris Long, who I mentioned already, but made another big catch later in the game, and Samuel Brown, the 4-star running back, all scored, all made big plays. You had other guys like Kenny Fletcher on defense. You also had Jordan Thompson, defensive line. Komar Missouri he actually started on the offensive line. These are all, freshmen, sophomores that are making plays. And albeit against an FCS school, but that's what you want to see right away for these guys to get legitimate opportunities and contribute right away. So very encouraging there. I think there's a lot of young talent on this team. It's just about getting developed and, coming together as a team and stepping up against the competition. So next week you're at Temple. They should take care of business right away. Beat them 61-14 last year. No reason not to go out and, do the same thing this year, regardless of the score, but dominate. And then you have Iowa in 2 weeks at home. Golden opportunity for Rutgers to win their Big Ten opener, go 4-0. I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Got to take care of business next week, but a lot of promising signs. Certainly a lot to work on for this team. Need to be more, limit their mistakes more. The penalties have to go down. But listen, they're 2-0. They took care of business today, and a lot of young players on this team that are to be excited about. So thanks for listening and watching and reading the Scarlet Faithful, and we'll have plenty of coverage the rest of this week. Thanks.